Hello,
Hello.
everybody. So, in case you're tuning in for the first time or have forgotten, since we've taken just a couple days since our last podcast, my name is Avery White,
And I'm Jonah Phillip. And nothing
and
has happened of relevance in the last
nothing
couple of days
has happened of relevance in the past couple of days
since we've been gone.
since we. Geez, man, it's what? What's today? July 5th.
Sure.
It was before May 5th since our last podcast.
Whoa.
It's been over 2 months.
It's been 2 months. Dang.
That's crazy.
So we were right with the 2 thing.
Right. Gee whiz. So today we're just gonna kind of go for it and catch up a little bit. So this is you guys getting to listen to our conversation. We already talked about the things that we don't want you guys to hear, so there's that. But
Yeah, literally, I don't think Avery and I have seen each other
since
for roughly the same time.
right.
Probably about 2 months.
Yeah.
And so you're basically getting to hear, other than we probably talked for the last 30 minutes before this.
Yeah.
So, anything after 30 minutes
Past 30 minutes of catching up.
of 2 months of catch up.
Right.
Ha ha ha.
And mustard and mayonnaise too. We don't want to be biased.
No bias here.
No bias here. So, dude, tell me about Israel. How was that?
Yes.
Dude, looked amazing through pictures, obviously. But,
Yeah.
You know, that tends to happen through pictures. So
Looked
how
amazing
was it?
through glasses too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had on glasses the whole
The
time.
whole time.
Yeah, I bought these really, really junky $4
Mhm.
John Lennon shades.
Okay.
And I bought them as a joke, and I wound up wearing them in almost every picture that I took on that stinking trip. And it was like kind of an accident, but at one point I was like, dang. And then like, it's bad when like your mom is the only one who compliments them. And she's like, you look like a movie star. And I was like, yeah, thanks.
Right.
Tried my best.
She's
So
gonna listen to this. Thank you so much.
she doesn't know the internet. We're fine.
Wow.
So Israel was great. Took a 10-day trip with a group called Passages.
Okay.
They take college students, leaders on college campuses, and they want to basically allow them to kind of like walk out the Bible, to actually see it firsthand,
Right.
and 2, they want to better equip those students with information on what's actually happening today in the Middle East, or at least specifically Israel and Palestine,
Yeah.
so that you can take back firsthand experience as opposed to the news. And you can actually make a decision for yourself. And that was like one of their huge emphasizes. One of their huge emphacycles was to... So we would be out from like 8 to 5. So 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. we were out visiting anything you could imagine in Israel, including some Palestinian territories, such as Bethlehem, which I didn't know was Palestinian territory.
Interesting.
I definitely have a story behind that. But yeah, so from like 8 to 5, we'd be doing that. And then once 5 hit, you come back and you just have tons of seminars and lectures.
Okay.
Long
days.
Long days. And it was awesome. Like, you didn't really have any free time. I mean, maybe like a day.
Yeah.
And by a day, I mean like 2 hours in a day. But it was fantastic. And so that was one of the things. They wanted to give you different perspectives. Right. So one of the seminars was from a Jewish woman. One of them was from a Palestinian Christian. There was one from a Jewish reporter who like does reporting for the United States in Israel, and there was one that was there's this Jewish guy who works for a larger Jewish corporation in like the U.S., like very very like big thing, and his best friend is a Christian Palestinian evangelist, pastor. And they're best friends. That's and it
really cool.
It is the funniest thing to watch them interact because like the the Jewish guy, he just keeps like joking. He's like, yeah, and he thinks I'm gonna see the light soon, and we're gonna keep testing that. And oh, it was too funny. Oh man, yeah. Quick story about him because this is too funny. So he, like I said, he worked for that Jewish corporation. So one of the things as soon as he came in, they said you're gonna be in charge of Jewish Christian affairs, right? So like the relationship between you.
Right.
So you need to like learn about Christianity, and they had him like writing papers and all that type of stuff. And so he was prepping to go to like a Christian church. So he's studying all of these like looking up, reading, watching videos of like Catholicism and all this stuff. So he gets to the church, and it is a intensely Pentecostal church. And he opens the door, and he just doesn't know what to do, and he starts freaking out because he like expected to go into like a Catholic service, and there's just people on the ground and blankets over them, and he was like I tried to go and pick the blanket up, and the guy was like, no, don't do that. So he was absolutely bewildered at that moment.
I'm sure.
But yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was insane. I think I went in with a mindset where it was like, oh man, I want to like experience my Christian roots.
Right.
But like so much more came from it.
Right.
I was really hoping I'd develop a desire and a passion for Israel, because I really want something, like something that when you think of Jonah, you think of.
Yeah.
And I know that's weird. Clock. Oh yeah, by the way, this episode is brought to you inside of a house that I'm house sitting for. So this is not my home. This is not Avery's home. This is a home with a loud clock and a beautiful dog named Clancy. Anyways, where was I?
I was just thinking about our first podcast was done in Williston Kitchen.
Yes.
Our second podcast was done in a sound room in Duquesne.
Was that the second one? So this is the third one.
This is only the third one. But none of these have been in either of our homes.
You're right. We literally had to go to someone else's home finally to do this third one.
It's so funny.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, develop...
well, first, if you have a home that is available and you would like us to come and film there, just know that we're not using our own homes. So we'd love to. We're not
using a camera, so there's really no harm, no foul.
Right. We'll even sit outside.
We'll give you a shout out.
Yeah.
Everybody, your address, your social, just the little things. But
okay, what was I talking about?
You want to develop a passion for
Yes. So I wanted something that I was so passionate about that I would read about, watch about, advocate about, right? Something like really big. And I was like, I hope that this is Israel.
Right.
And it absolutely was. And I think it just like I started caring so much about the conflict because there is so much more to it than one side's right and one side's wrong.
Right.
Both sides have and I'm referring to Palestinian and the Jewish, right? I'm referring to the Muslims and the Jews, right? Both sides have like extreme reasons to believe that should be their lands, and both sides are hurting the other. Extremists from both sides are causing a lot of damage, and sadly, all you ever hear about is the extremists, and so that's why you usually have an opinion based on whatever news you're listening to of which one is wrong and which one's right. But that's because they take things completely out of context. Right. But anyways, so yeah, just like being there, we were at like the Gaza border where literally you could see Gaza, which is under the control of Hamas. And they are literally like taking people there. They're feeding them if they like do what they want. So like you don't really work. It's mainly all poverty. You get fed by your government, so you get fed by the Hamas. But the only way that happens is if money gets circulated from terrorist groups and whatnot through Israel to Hamas, to Gaza, right? So if Israel doesn't transport the money to Gaza, those people will not eat, those civilians. But when they do transport the money, they use 80% of the money for missiles and things to shoot right back at Israel.
Right.
And then they'll send the 13-year-old boys, who are considered men in that culture, to the gate to try and basically bust into Israel, and Israel's left with a choice. And they either have to take out the kids, or and I've seen pictures that are simply a picture of an Israeli soldier and a young boy, and the Israeli soldier is killing the young boy, and then that picture is plastered somewhere with no context. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And it's like, it is a lose-lose for what they're dealing with. But on the other side, I was saying earlier that Bethlehem is a Palestinian territory right now. So there is a giant wall up that is sort of in between Israel, like very close to Jerusalem, and it is in between there and Bethlehem. And the reason they put it up was because there were people who were, extremists who were going from Bethlehem, the Palestinian territory, into Jerusalem and blowing up, right? And so they put up the wall as a safety precaution. But the problem is this wall is making people incredibly angry. And it's not helping any of the situation. It's only making people on both sides more hateful towards the others. Right. Nothing's getting done in conflict resolution, and it's stirring up a lot of possible threats from the Palestinian side, right?
Right.
So there have also been times where, so when we went into that area, we couldn't even bring our tour guide. We couldn't bring our security guard. We couldn't even have the buses marked. We had to take the things off the buses because no one from Israel, no Israeli citizen is allowed in that area. So when we got there, that was like the only semi-intimidating moment, just because the guy who was talking to us was talking about how there were times when Israel was not sending over water to that area, and that they were being treated like second-class citizens and all that type of stuff. And it was very, very frightening, because like as people would drive by, they were banging on their cars, they were like yelling in support with this guy, but it was just a very intense atmosphere, and you could feel it. Like you could feel the tension, you could feel the deservedly so people being upset, right? You could really feel them being mad, and they had reason to.
Right.
So yeah, but definitely there's a passion stirred there. I'm hoping to go back next year as like a fellow. And then there's another trip they go on where they go to like Egypt, and that's where I hope to head to as well.
Interesting. I have to ask Lauren, but Lauren was in Israel, Jordan, Egypt.
Sick.
I'm not sure what program she like went through.
Yeah.
She was telling me about that, so I wonder if that's the same program you're talking about.
But it could be. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but she went with her friends, and like there's a couple years out of school, so I'm not sure.
So the one I'm talking about with Egypt, and you said Jordan?
Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Egypt, Jordan, and Israel. That one is through the Philos Leadership Institute, which they're the people who fund passages. Okay. So it's not technically that.
Okay.
So you might be able to go at any age with the Philos. I don't know. All right, so that's a little bit about Israel. Now,
that's pretty sweet.
Update all of us here on your life.
Oh my gosh, this past 2 months have been crazy. So, I graduated college. I think they just let anybody do that now. So, there's that. So the day after graduation, I literally jumped into my job as a GA in our Center for Service Leadership. So that first month was super, super crazy because I was thrown into this role having no prior knowledge basically of what that office does other than a little bit of like, looking in from the outside. But so our Center for Service Leadership has our Bonner program as well.
Yep.
So it's kind of a two-headed beast where we have our Bonner program, but then we also do all of the service on campus. So that's days of service on Saturdays. That's mission trips. It's literally everything that our school does is through that office. So that is like a whole thing in itself. But at the end of May, we had a Bonner SLI conference. So the whole month of May, we were prepping for that. So I really didn't even get a look into what I was actually doing until about a month ago.
Wow.
Which was crazy in itself because I was, working with students, working with leadership, doing all that stuff in a program that I'm super unfamiliar with, and was pretty much just doing a bunch of grunt work. Putting signs up, linens in rooms, different things like that. But it was good. That time was good because it really allowed me to start building relationships. Instead of just jumping into like, okay, these are all your responsibilities. This is what you're going to be doing. It's like, no, just like take this time. And nobody said this, but it was like, take this time, build these relationships. I was pretty much just doing like a guinea pig, whatever somebody else told me to do. But so that month was crazy. And then anytime I wasn't at school in the office, I was working at Lamb's as a waiter.
Nice.
Which is,
there you go.
Yeah.
Getting them tips.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, yeah.
It's all right.
Waitering's fun. I'm going to host tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, at least it's like I don't want to say that. It's interesting. It's a very like unconventional, like it's a small business. So.
Yeah.
But so that month was good. And then after the SLI conference, really started this past week, I really started to get into my groove of like work, but June just flew by. I was starting to pick up some projects for like myself to do. Really starting to get a feel for how our office operates. Who I'm reporting to for what, and just actually starting to do work that I'm doing instead of just like listening to somebody else. So that was good. It also was just like crazy. My laptop hard drive malfunctioned.
Oh no.
So completely crapped the bed. Couldn't get anything off of that.
No.
So I had to get a new hard drive and like totally reset my computer. So I didn't have a ton of files on there that weren't backed up somewhere else, but I did have like quite a few. So that kind of sucked.
You'd preach on that.
Yeah.
this little baby that's recording us right now. I was at coffee with a friend the other week, a month ago probably, and long story short, the coffee cup that they were holding flung onto my laptop.
Oh my gosh.
And I take it home and it's fried. It's just done.
Yeah.
But so I take it to Apple and they were like, yeah, throw it away. It's done. So I was like, all right. I take it home. I was kind of like lazy, so I hadn't taken it out. I walked over jokingly one night. I just pressed the on button.
Yeah.
And the sucker turned on.
Wow.
And it's been working ever since. And it makes no sense. And I'm like, oh,
that's so nice.
It's a big win.
That's awesome.
Anyways, go on. I just find that very funny that we both have crappy laptops.
Yeah. Right now. So my laptop crapped the bed.
Okay. Did you try hitting the on button?
You know what? I probably should have thought of that.
That's what I did.
No, it was not. I tried rebooting it and doing all this different stuff, and it ran. It was plugged in.
Yeah.
I tried doing like a whatever restart process, something rather. I don't know, but it was running that process for 18 hours and didn't move a single anything. Wow. So yeah, it was pretty dumb.
Sounds dumb.
And then like 2 weeks after that, my phone crapped the bed. So I have a new phone.
Man.
Hey,
good.
Yeah, so it's really awesome. I made the jump from Apple to Google. So
I've been wanting to do that. What is your feeling on that?
I love it. I have the Google Pixel 3a.
Okay.
It's awesome.
So in which ways is it better?
So the camera's better.
Okay.
Unless you zoom in. If there's one person in my life that is totally 1000% Apple, and he will not let me hear the end of it. So he probably won't listen to this.
Yeah.
But so the camera is really, really amazing, and I can actually show you some pictures I took of like fireworks and stuff that would not be clear with the iPhone picture or photo camera or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you take a picture of people and then like zoom in really far, it like loses a little bit of its quality.
Okay.
Which is really weird, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm not zooming in on pictures anyways.
Right, unless you're a little creep.
Look at that picture I took last night.
That's a good pic.
That's insane. And then there's hold on, that one's good, but then there's that one too.
Wow.
It's like these. They're
For you guys who are wondering, let me describe the picture. There's red, and there's black around it, and then there's a little bit more red, and it looks great.
Yeah.
You can hear a boom when you look at it. Happy 4th, friends. Oh.
And then there's that one too. It's like they're just super, super clear. Like the camera is absolutely insane. I'm not one for like super big into that stuff, but it's pretty nice.
I mean, yeah.
But I just like, so for me, the Switch was more not because I despise Apple, but because
you broke your phone.
Yeah, well, there's that, and it's for me. There's just no draw to stay with Apple.
Yeah.
All of my stuff was on Google. I had Gmails, Google Photos, Google Calendar. You know, I used all of those things. For Apple, like the only thing that was keeping me with that was when I had iTunes, but I use Spotify now. So it's like there's literally no reason for me to pay $1,000 for a new phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the iPhone X like is the one that's like comparable to this phone, and this phone cost $400.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just released in like May or something.
So is it rough not having iMessage, or do you not care?
I don't care.
Okay.
It doesn't make a difference to me. I know some Android phones are like weird with group texts.
Yeah.
Mine works perfectly with group text. So, there's no real drawback there. Functionality wise, it's very different. So it's like really weird to get used to. There's no home button. Like, I mean, there's if you, let me show you real quick. There's like this little thing down here that you can click that acts as like a home button, but it's not like a button. So the screen's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It has the like flip to do not disturb.
It's a flip phone?
Yeah.
Dude, they're gonna come back.
They're
making a comeback. Just
like this freaking clock.
Has it been 15 minutes already?
I don't know. It's been like 20. But it was like 10 between the last time. I don't know. Like this clock
goes when it wants to. Oh, man. No, wait. This is the 4 o'clock bell.
It's 3:53.
I know. It's a problem.
Just messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really nice. It's taken. There's still some things figuring out, whatever. But luckily, I took it to this repair shop in Waynesburg, and they did a phenomenal job. They were able to get all my stuff like transferred over.
Yeah.
But they like backed everything up for me so that now like if something happens again, everything's backed up to my drive, so Google Drive. So
do you want to shout them out?
AK, I think it was AK's Repair.
AK's Repair, baby.
AK's Repair in Waynesburg. They do a phenomenal job.
You listening to this from California? Take a vacay to Waynesburg, PA. AK Repair. It makes your phone AK.
47.
Whoa. I was going with okay, but you took it into a gun.
Oh, jeez.
They'll shoot your phone. Okay, wait. Segue off of one of the pictures you were showing me was from music festival that you went to.
Creation,
yeah.
So that was super interesting. I hope to go back next year if the school, Kyle, Renee, Bob, Emily, if you guys are listening to this, take me again next year. But,
please.
No, it was really cool. I'd never been before, so it was a neat experience. It was different because I went like as a vendor, like with the school. Okay. So we were really just like talking to people the whole time. So basically, like the first day was a little bit different, but then the rest of the week, like we woke up, got to creation between like 8:30 and 9:30ish, and then we're there until like 6 talking to people, and then from like 6 to 11ish we would just like listen to one of those sermons and like worship and some of that stuff. So it was pretty cool. Again, I want to go back next year like with a group of friends and like actually get to experience like because they are running like devotionals and speakers and prayer walks and all like worship all day long like at different venues. So it was really, really cool. Soldiers and Sons, who is based out of Waynesburg, and some personal friends, Matt and Andrew Stewart, they played. Nice. Absolutely killed it. So they were on the main stage, which was pretty sweet. Yeah. So they absolutely killed it. Much love for those guys. So it was really good. It was long days. My ankle was swelling up and hurting by the end of every day, but it was all right. I went with Isaiah Skeet and then Kyle Dijon Domenico. So those guys are good friends, and we had a good time. So
who was the highlight? What was the big band?
There was different people every night. The first night we were there was Mandisa and Hillsong, which is pretty sweet.
Toby Mac wasn't with Mandisa?
Toby Mac was not there.
What? They're a package deal.
I know.
He brings his little staff and
right.
super awkward.
Yeah. So that was the first night. The second night was 10th Avenue North and Crowder.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sweet. Crowder always
Who headlined that?
Job. Who headlined what?
Who headlined between those two?
I don't know. Crowder was the second one.
So Crowder was last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Crowder, I guess.
Nice.
The third night, which we didn't stay for because we were so exhausted and just like went and hung out, but was Carrie Job and Elevation Worship.
Wow.
And then the fourth night, which we were gone by that point, was Skillet and Andy Mineo.
Ooh, that's intense.
So yeah, that was I would have liked to see Andy Mineo.
Yeah. Mini Andio.
Mini Andio. Right. Mini Andy. But yeah, no. So it was really cool. It was nice too to like after such a long day. Like I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like sometimes in church, like our minds aren't always in the right place. So like standing for so long for worship, like sometimes like distracts me from like the words that I'm actually singing and like some of those things. So it was really cool. Like after such a long day, just to be able to like chill in a lawn chair and like worship at my own pace kind of thing.
Nice.
So that was just like really, really cool. And I felt like it was much more relaxed and was able to like connect a little bit more and like some of those things and just like pray when I wanted to. And it was a much larger setting, so it wasn't like if I put my head down and pray, like whoever was upstage didn't think I was like sleeping or whatever, you know. So it was it was pretty cool.
I love it.
Definitely want to try to go back next year and just like experience more of what they have to offer. But again, just super long days. I mean, they're doing stuff like, I don't know, creation staff, I don't know how they do it because they're literally running events from 8:30 until like midnight or 1 o'clock every day for the whole week. So it's
that's insane.
It's a long week.
Yeah, I've never been to creation, but I've been three times to Alive.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that's becoming bigger. That creation is dwindling in numbers in the live,
which is weird. I don't really understand why. I mean, this year the lineup's like ridiculous. Like it's the best I've ever seen it, and I was planning on going, but I've been gone too much this summer, and I think I need to stay for a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty great. I've never like went and worked anywhere there, but I will say like going, just like getting to hang with friends, getting to camp out, and it is so they do the same like stuff all day long. And I think one of the coolest things about that is the fact that they have like smaller tents with unknown bands, you know, like ones who are on the rise, or even, you know, they just happen to, you know, audition, make it.
Right.
And those are some of the coolest moments because you go in a super intimate setting where there's like 10 other people watching these people sing. And like then, so I've done that, and then the next year, like I hear their songs on the radio, and that's just so cool.
Right.
That happened. I went back in probably like 2014, 2013, something like that. And NF, the rapper, before he was before he was big or anything, like he was doing a very, very minimal show.
Right. And
then I saw NF at Stage AE last October, something like that. Yeah, he was there.
You were there?
Yeah. Were you
there?
I
was there.
What?
Yeah.
What the heck?
When he was doing his Perception tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
gosh. That's so funny.
I yelled Avery like 6 times.
That's
Why
insane.
didn't you answer?
I was
super rude.
Dude, he's coming back in September.
He's coming to Stage AE again.
Are you going?
I don't know.
Isaiah and I already bought our tickets. So you should go.
Highlight of his concert to me, and this is not saying the concert was bad. I loved the concert.
Right.
The highlight was the fact that he got everyone out by 9:30.
Oh my god.
That concert, I was like, you respect my bedtime and my sleep schedule.
Dude, but he's so intense.
He is.
He's rapping the whole time.
Oh, every song is so intense. I don't think he ever said anything.
No, he didn't. Nothing in between.
He may have greeted us once.
Right.
But you know what? I like that more than the artists who just keep saying hi.
Right.
But like not hi, but they keep going like Pittsburgh, what's up? And they'll say it after every song, and it's like nothing's changed. Like nothing changed since 5 minutes ago.
Right.
What's up is I'm at your concert. Like dude, it's cool.
Yeah. Oh man.
Continue a conversation with me. Don't greet me anymore. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Jeez. But anyways, the fringe stages, yeah, that's pretty cool. Creation has a similar thing where it's like rising artists, and they always do. I'm not sure if Alive does this, but Creation always does a. I don't know what they call it, but like a music tournament. So like it's a chance for like rising bands. They like play in a tournament, and like the winner gets to play on the main stage. So that's how Soldiers and Sons played on the main stage this year because they won the tournament from last year.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So they won last year, and then they let them go the next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yes, they were on the main stage.
You have plenty of time to prepare.
Right. It's pretty sweet.
Wow, I like that.
So. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Yeah, man. Crazy. So what's up with, have you done anything with Second Blessing?
Nope. This is time to be completely real on the podcast. No, so I guess, since I saw you last.
Right.
On the Instagram of Second Blessing, well, first off, since I saw you last, my one friend, Allie, helped me create a logo for it. Right. So that was cool. So there's a logo. It's on the Instagram. Boo! And you're doing this podcast with me right now. Yeah, so we got that. We put that in. We made a few videos to put on there, probably none past June. I know that for sure. Like none past May. Sorry about that. Okay. And so, yeah, I guess I've been posting a lot of like thoughts and that type of stuff.
Right.
But they've all been going on my main account at Joe T. Phillip.
Right.
And so, yeah, I've kind of been using it for that. I don't know. I definitely want to get back into it, but I mean, It's okay. I was gone for roughly the entire month of June. Right. And it is now July 5th. So now that I'm actually back and settled for the remainder of this month-ish, we might have time to get some things sparking and going in that. Oh. Tell me new...
Did you know Eddie Provident?
Who?
Eddie Provident?
Don't know what that is.
Oh, you follow his music account.
Oh. I follow all the music accounts that follow me. And then I unfollow you. Ha 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 ha. One more follower for me. Follow. Yeah. And no following. Bada bing, bada boom. Because you guys know that it's not actually impressive unless you have way more followers than you do following. Right. That's how people can look at you and know they have their life together. Right.
Yo, I had somebody follow me on Instagram the other day, and they literally told me...
Immediately unfollow you?
No. But So I was with them. It was somebody I work with. And they were like, oh, let me follow you. So I told them they follow me at Avery.white13. And then so they followed me, and they were like, they told me to my face, they're like, oh, you have a good balance of followers to following.
Wow.
Like, thank you.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
A good balance?
More people following me than I follow. I guess that's the...
Okay. I get... Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Have a good... Because apparently most people from Waynesburg follow more people than follow them, and it's weird, so I don't know. That's what I was told. Not my words. Don't hate the messenger. Hate the message.
I think a lot of the upsetting part about it is you'll have like 1,200 followers, right, and you average like 200 likes on a post, and it's like, how does this make how does that even make sense? Right. How many people follow you?
Hashtag fake
friends. Absolutely.
Right. Like all of you that are listening to this and didn't post a question on my story.
Yeah, if you're bothering to listen to this podcast and you didn't post a question on the story, what the heck?
What are you doing?
We still love you.
Sometimes.
Just text us a question.
Right. right now.
Right
Text me a
now,
question.
text me, baby. Shoot. What were we just? Oh, I was gonna say what. Give me.
The second blessing.
Yeah, but I was gonna say what about first spot?
Yeah, so we've actually had some pretty decent progress. So
Nice.
we as in me and Nick Burgess, dude. Did you know him when you were at Waynesburg?
He's a magician.
He's a magician and a freaking wizard with Photoshop. He's a design.
He's a magician and a wizard.
Masseur.
What?
What?
He's giving you massages?
No, I mean he does. Dude,
Whoa!
This dude does everything.
Okay,
The only
first
thing-
spot.
the only
You'll get a
thing-
massage from Nick Burgess,
Right.
a magician.
The only thing that I could figure out that this dude couldn't do is whistle, and he taught himself to whistle.
What?
Right. I'm
That's
like,
so
what?
cool.
But so he and I have been working together on some design stuff. So we finally solidified a logo.
Nice.
So the next step is I need to figure out what font I'm using. So I'm probably spending way too much time on these little things, but I think
They matter.
once I do my drop, it's gonna better be
Yeah.
better. So at some point I need to make it up to like Washington and Morgantown, ask people that I don't know what fonts they like better.
Okay.
That's what I was told to do. So yeah, so there's that. Finally solidified a logo. I've been doing some mock-up stuff, trying to work on my Photoshop skills so that I don't always have to be bothering Nick for stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the logo is like a huge step. So once I figure out the font, then I can do the website.
Nice.
And then once the website's done, I can figure out my stuff with the manufacturer, and then I'll be able to launch. So
Sweet.
I'm going back and forth between some ideas. I probably, once I get my like mock-up stuff done,
Yeah.
I probably will honestly go ahead and start figuring out stuff with the manufacturer in order to buy some initial inventory so I can distribute that to a couple of brand ambassadors. I know I talked to you about doing that for me, but
I'm down.
yeah, so distribute that to some brand ambassadors, start getting the word out there, and then do a drop a couple weeks, month after that or so.
Nice.
I'm going back and forth between doing like a drop of like just having a couple of different shirts, and then like having it to where people can buy like as much as they want, or if I want to do it to where it's like my first drop, I'm only going to make like 100 shirts.
Mm.
So with that, I would buy all the inventory up front and then do all the mailing and stuff myself. So it'd be a little bit more work.
Yeah.
But the benefit would be that should increase demand.
Well, yeah.
Theoretically, if there's only 100 shirts as opposed to if like somebody's like, oh, I can get one anytime, right? So I'm jumping back and forth between those ideas. I'm not super crazy about that, especially working 2 jobs right now and like all the other stuff that's going on. But yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. I think so we're still on the design branding process, I guess. I don't know.
Nice.
Just development, I guess. But so yeah, it's going along. Probably gonna push back the launch date again.
It's cool.
But
Gotta make that baby ready.
when we get to it, we'll get to it. But it's just hard right now because I said, I'm working.
Yeah, you're
so
tired.
much.
You're working a lot.
Yeah, so that's all right. Probably should stop watching The Office so much and work on that.
Hey,
more,
that's
but,
work too.
yeah. The tough thing is like I have to ask people I don't know,
Mm.
like for this in order for this next step to really work. That was really loud. Was that your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows if it went through on the audio recording?
Right. Who knows?
Hey, anyone who's wondering, it just went ding, and it wasn't the clock this time.
Right. But oh my Atlanta.
Let's hope it doesn't keep happening.
Hopefully. But yeah, so the tough thing is like now I have to Atlanta.
We're just gonna take the audio off.
Ask. I have to like find people that I don't know and
Yeah.
like ask them about stuff. So that requires me to like go hang out in Washington or Morgantown for the afternoon.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be the worst.
Who
thing.
wants to do that?
Right, who wants to do that? But it also just like there's with school being out right now, there's no promise that like people will be out and doing things. So, like I'm gonna waste my time.
Right.
You know, so but yeah, that's where first spot's at.
Nice. That's exciting.
But we're good.
You're making good headway. Hey, books take so many years to release.
That's
So who cares, man?
Right.
This is a J.K. Rowling-esque
Right.
idea. So Take your time.
We will see where it
This is
goes.
yeah.
If I can get above 100 followers, I probably will be doing some type of giveaway. So stay tuned, you peeps that are listening. Stay tuned for that, because not only will I be giving out free merch for my brand ambassadors and massages at Nick Burgess, but we'll also probably be doing a giveaway. I don't know what that looks like yet, but
yeah.
I also still need to decide what nonprofit I'm giving 10% of my income to. I still do want to do that. So that requires.
Are you thinking of any?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I sponsor a child through compassion right now. So I am like a huge proponent of that. I think that's like, I'll say what I'm thinking right now off the podcast, because that was something maybe see people had, but yeah. But so I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'd be cool to do that, but that would at least at the start, the income of the company would be too inconsistent for me to like sponsor another child through that. So that could be something to where I could start putting that back in the fund and then maybe do it eventually.
Yeah.
Or I could just use that as like maybe a monthly gift for my child or something. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, my heart hurts for the children that like their parents can't take care of them. Right. Like when I went on to sponsor a child, I like specifically looked for a child who had been on there for the longest, without like sponsorship. And the child, Havon, that I sponsored, he was literally like 2 days away from like being taken off the list because he'd been waiting for so long. That just like he's gonna turn 6 in August. Like a 6-year-old shouldn't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like that just, it sucks. And my mom was like, you have to sponsor them until they're 18, right? It's a long time. And I'm like, well, like he needs somebody,
right?
So if not me, then who?
Yeah.
And so so we'll see though. I might look at some other things, but I really want to do something that I'm passionate about, not just to pick a charity or a nonprofit, just to pick one. So
right.
Yeah.
Avery, I gotta be completely real with you.
Oh no.
I really hope that the audio is still recording during that whole time, because there is an outside chance that it stopped.
Because of you turned the sound off?
Now it's all the way up again. But it's very minimal, but there's a chance. Anyways, we'll come to that road when we come to it.
Okay. How long have we been going? 42 minutes. I might split this up into two. Just because.
Okay. I'm down with that.
The last one was like 54 minutes and nobody listened to that.
Oh, yeah. We'll split her up.
Although if you're listening to this one, you should go back and listen to our second one that I was referring to is our Rest podcast. So that one was really good.
Arrested Development.
Although it was long, I think
it was long.
That was a good one. So I think that's good. I mean,
super good.
Yeah, super good. So if you guys are listening to this and you're not leaving us feedback, what the heck, are you a real friend or what?
Leave us feedback.
Yeah. Hashtag like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Or
hate,
reject, and
unsubscribe.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Whatever floats your goat.
As long as the end involves you resubscribing.
Right.
But if you need to get some anger off your chest and you need to hit that unsubscribe button, you do it. You mash that sucker.
Just double tap it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. That's how you dislike. Double tap.
Double tap. Hashtag double tap. Zombies, right? Double tap makes you go and shoot faster than zombies, right?
I have not played video games in so long. The only times I ever play video games is when I'm with my cousins. And when I'm with my cousins, I only play baseball and basketball video games. Gotcha. And I have this horrible habit of drafting. Okay, so whenever I get on the game, I always go into fantasy draft.
Okay.
And I just draft a team. And I make trades. And I make a beautiful team.
Right.
And then I play a half a game. And then I end it.
Perfect.
So I spend way more time making the team than I do actually like playing the game. And I think that speaks to the fact that I could be a GM. Yeah. I think that's what I'm looking at. I think I'm seeing these things open, these doors open. Hey, definitely.
You should go for it. You can't do worse than the...
Hey. 3 games out, boy.
Hey.
3 games out is not bad. The Pittsburgh Pirates are not bad, and it's because everyone else is not bad. But no one's good right now in the NL Central.
And the non-losers. That's
Yeah.
the
I
NL.
mean, this is something, a little fun statistic. So in the NL Central, the furthest team back right now is 3.5 games out of first. So the 5th place team is 3.5 games out of first.
Wow.
Now in, for instance, I forget which one it is, the American League, the Baltimore Orioles are 30 games out of first, and they're in 5th place.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, so does that speak to how bad Baltimore is, or does that speak to how good the other teams are?
Well, Baltimore's pretty bad. So they're an interesting case. But I will say this: a team that's in second in the I don't know who it is. It might be the Rockies. Regardless, a second place team is okay. So the leader of like the NL Central is a couple games above 500.
Okay,
maybe. The Rockies are 2 or 3 games above 500. They're in second place, and they're 15 games out of first.
Wow.
So like it shows you that like we have a pretty weak division right now.
Yeah.
But it puts you in this horrible place. Pirates are in this place every year where they're like, are we sellers? Are we buyers? And they wind up making horrible deals. And they don't. The problem is you don't know. It's like we're never bad enough to just sell, but we're never good enough to buy.
Right.
So you basically do this weird combo of selling and buying, and the team doesn't really ever improve. It's a horrible place to be. I would so much prefer to be Baltimore right now. I would so much prefer to be a team that had no hope than a team that has a sliver of hope. Because that sliver never turns into a whole piece.
Oh, yeah.
Never. And we never get the pie. Never. It is a shame.
Oh, man. That's too funny. Jeez. All right. Well, until next time. If you guys have ideas of stuff you want to hear, leave it in the comment section or hit us up. We both, at some point in this podcast, left our Instagram handles.
Yeah.
So, and we both have
Facebook.
Facebook, the face.
Friend me on Facebook.
And go follow our brand company things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. We are professional here. Join our brand company things.
Yep. Well, I don't know. Wait, is yours? Do you refer to yours as a brand? Is that what you? Or
right now, it's an Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. Okay.
Follow both of my Instagrams.
Follow all 4 of our Instagram accounts. But all right, guys, have a good one. Have a blessed one.
Peace.
Stay groovy. We're still trying to bring that back.
Took 2 months, man. Do you think it's caught on? We gave it 2 months to catch on. I haven't heard it.
I forgot about it until just now.
I use it in my daily vocabulary, so it's like it's not a problem here.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Sayonara, Didi.
Goodbye, friends.